In a striking commentary on the current state of the Democratic Party, veteran strategist James Carville and Congressman Khanna have voiced urgent concerns regarding the rhetoric of progressive figures like Representative Ilhan Omar. Their remarks come at a time when the party is grappling with a declining approval rating and a crucial need to re-establish its relevance in American politics. On a recent episode of the Politics War Room podcast, Khanna emphasized the necessity for Democrats to start their speeches with an affirmation of America's greatness. America is the greatest country in the world, he declared, advocating for a more positive narrative that he believes could help the party reconnect with voters. This call for a shift in messaging aligns with Carville's critique of Omar and other progressive members of the squad, whom he suggests may be doing more harm than good for the party. Carville articulated his view with characteristic candor, stating, "I am a liberal Democrat," but added a pointed critique of the progressive wing, suggesting maybe these people are not worth the trouble. Maybe they should just go their own way. His comments were particularly focused on Omar's past remarks on white men, which resurfaced in the media and ignited controversy. In a 2018 interview, Omar had stated, "I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country," a statement that Carville lambasted as counterproductive. "Why are we trying to piss off 1/3 of the people that are going to vote?" he questioned, highlighting the potential electoral risks of such divisive rhetoric. Khanna echoed Carville's sentiments, asserting that white Americans have contributed significantly to the nation's freedoms, referencing historical events like the storming of Normandy during World War II. His remarks reflect a broader call for Democrats to foster unity rather than division. "This is a great country. It is a kind country. It is a decent country," Khanna remarked, emphasizing the need for the party to acknowledge America's positive attributes while striving for improvement. The backdrop of these discussions is a palpable sense of urgency within the Democratic Party as it seeks to regain traction against a resurgent Republican opposition. Following a disappointing 2024 election cycle where the party's messaging appeared muddled and inconsistent, figures like Carville and Khanna are advocating for a return to core principles that resonate with a broader electorate. Carville's blunt assertion that "there's no future in us running against white men" underscores a strategic imperative for the party to focus on inclusivity rather than alienation. Omar's office has yet to respond to the latest criticisms, although she previously defended her comments by referencing data from the Anti-Defamation League regarding extremist-related violence. This ongoing dialogue signifies a deeper conflict within the party, one that pits progressive ideals against traditional Democratic messaging. As the Democratic Party navigates these turbulent waters, the need for a cohesive strategy becomes increasingly clear. With shifting demographics and evolving voter expectations, the challenge remains how to balance the calls for progressive change with a unifying message that can appeal across the political spectrum. The conversation sparked by Carville and Khanna may serve as a turning point, indicating a potential re-evaluation of how Democrats communicate their vision for America. Looking ahead, the Democratic Party must grapple with these internal conflicts while also addressing the broader political landscape. As the 2024 elections recede into memory, the party faces the daunting task of redefining its identity and message to resonate with a diverse electorate. The road to recovery may well depend on leaders who can unify disparate voices under a banner that celebrates America's achievements while advocating for necessary change. As the political climate evolves, the outcome of this ideological struggle will significantly shape the party's future direction. As the Republican Party navigates the complexities of economic policy during the second term of President Donald Trump, it finds itself at a significant crossroads. With a renewed focus on defining its economic priorities, the GOP is grappling with fundamental questions about its direction and the implications for the American economy. Is it still the party of free markets, or is it evolving into a populist movement that aligns more closely with the working class agenda that propelled Trump to the presidency? House Speaker Mike Johnson of Louisiana has emerged as a key figure in this evolving narrative, tasked with the formidable challenge of uniting a fractured party. Under his leadership, Republicans are striving to advance a sweeping economic package that includes $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and $1.5 trillion in spending reductions. However, as discussions progress, it is becoming increasingly evident that achieving consensus among party members is rife with challenges. In a candid moment, Representative Rich McCormick from Georgia emphasized the urgency of addressing economic issues, stating, "This idea of the American dream where we are the best country in the world, which I believe we are, will be gone and it'll be our fault, so we have to do something right now to address it." This sentiment reflects a growing concern among lawmakers about the need for decisive action, yet the path forward remains murky. The GOP is undergoing a transformation from its traditional stance of advocating for lower taxes and minimal government intervention to a more populist stance that considers the needs of a broader demographic, including those reliant on federal assistance. This ideological shift is evidenced by the tension between established Republican leaders, such as former House Speaker Newt Gingrich and anti-tax advocate Grover Norquist, and a burgeoning neo-populist faction that challenges long-held economic doctrines. While some Republicans continue to advocate for the party's traditional fiscal conservatism, a significant faction is pushing back against long-standing tenets like the "No New Taxes" pledge. Trump himself has suggested higher tax rates on the wealthiest Americans, a notion that has sparked considerable debate within the party's ranks. As Johnson and his colleagues work to finalize a budget resolution, the stakes are high. "This is a once-in-a-generation bill," said Representative August Pfluger of Texas, underscoring the potential impact of their decisions on future economic stability. Amid ongoing negotiations, Republicans face pressing deadlines. They are under pressure to finalize the budget package by Memorial Day. With the looming threat of Trump's 2017 tax cuts expiring if a new agreement is not reached by the end of the year, the party's narrow majority in Congress means that even a handful of dissenting votes could derail the process. The complexity of the negotiations is further highlighted by conflicting priorities among Republicans. Fiscal conservatives are insisting on significant cuts to Medicaid and other programs, while moderate Republicans are resisting any reductions that would harm vulnerable populations. "How about we do the job we got elected 5 months ago to do and see where the chips fall?" implored Representative Chip Roy of Texas, emphasizing the need for party unity around core conservative principles. As the discussions unfold, the debate over the state and local tax SALT deduction caps has emerged as another contentious issue. Representatives from high-tax states are pushing to lift these caps, arguing that the current limits disproportionately affect their constituents. The GOP leadership's proposal to increase the cap to $30,000 has been met with resistance, with some lawmakers labeling it insulting. The stakes are high not just for the party's immediate legislative goals but for its long-term identity and voter base. As pressures mount from both party leadership and Trump, the question remains: can the GOP reconcile its internal divisions and deliver a cohesive economic strategy that appeals to a diverse constituency while maintaining its fiscal integrity? Looking ahead, the outcome of these negotiations will likely shape not only the party's platform for the upcoming elections but also the broader economic landscape for years to come. With the clock ticking, the Republican Party stands at a pivotal moment, one that could redefine its future direction and influence in American politics. In a significant week for American politics, a series of announcements and developments have set the stage for upcoming electoral battles and infrastructure advancements. From key Senate races in Georgia to notable infrastructure investments in Maine, the political landscape is rapidly evolving. On the campaign front, U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has made headlines by announcing she will not challenge Democratic incumbent Senator Jon Ossoff in the 2026 election. Greene, who had been considered a strong contender following Georgia Governor Brian Kemp's decision not to run, expressed her frustrations with the Republican establishment in her announcement. "I won't fight for a team that refuses to win, that protects its weakest players, and that undermines the very people it's supposed to serve," Greene stated. This leaves the field open for other Republicans, with U.S. Representative Buddy Carter being the first to formally enter the race. As Greene steps back, Speculation intensifies regarding potential GOP challengers, including U.S. Representatives Mike Collins and Rich McCormick, as well as Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Collins, who has been vocal about the need for a strong Republican presence, emphasized Republicans can absolutely win this Senate seat in Georgia, rallying support for what he views as a prime opportunity to reclaim the seat. In stark contrast to the political maneuvering in Georgia, Senator Susan Collins of Maine recently participated in the groundbreaking of a new passenger terminal at Prescott International Airport. This project, backed by over $20 million in congressionally directed spending that Collins secured, is poised to replace a facility that has served the region for 70 years. Prescott International Airport is a vital hub for Aroostook County, connecting northern Maine to the rest of the country and supporting economic development throughout the region. Collins remarked at the event. The new terminal is designed to enhance passenger experience, comply with federal safety standards, and cater to future growth. Meanwhile, in a historic moment, Donald Trump has been officially certified as the next president of the United States, marking a pivotal turn in the nation's leadership. This certification process took place amid a backdrop of political contention and public scrutiny, underscoring the complexities of the current electoral climate. As the political landscape continues to shift, the implications of these developments will be closely monitored. Green's withdrawal from the Senate race opens up a competitive field for Republicans in Georgia, while Collins' commitment to infrastructure improvements in Maine signals a focus on local economic growth. With the 2026 elections on the horizon, the dynamics within both parties will likely evolve, providing fertile ground for further developments. As candidates prepare for their campaigns and constituents anticipate changes, the intersection of infrastructure and political strategy will remain a critical area of focus in the coming months. In a significant announcement that has captured the attention of political observers, Republican Representative Virginia Foxx has declared her intention to seek a 12th term in the U.S. House of Representatives, representing North Carolina's 5th congressional district. This decision comes as Foxx, a prominent figure in the Republican Party and a veteran of Congress, aims to further her agenda aligned with the America First principles championed by former President Donald Trump. At 81 years old, Foxx has established a long and distinguished career in Washington, serving 20 consecutive years, the longest tenure of any North Carolina representative. Her experience includes chairing the Committee on Rules in the current 119th Congress and previously leading the Committee on Education and the Workforce. "I don't know about you, but I am definitely not tired of winning," Foxx stated on social media shortly after her announcement. "I am pleased to announce that I will be running for re-election in the 2026 midterms to continue fighting for North Carolina's 5th congressional district and President Trump's America First agenda." Foxx's political journey has not been without challenges. Last fall, she and her husband faced the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, which devastated parts of North Carolina, resulting in significant loss of life and property. The storm claimed 107 lives in the state and caused an estimated $60 billion in damages. In the wake of the disaster, Foxx remained actively engaged, monitoring recovery efforts and advocating for storm victims, particularly through collaboration with FEMA. In addition to her disaster response efforts, Foxx has taken a strong stance against rising anti-Semitism, particularly following the escalation of conflict between Hamas and Israel in October 2023. She was instrumental in leading congressional hearings that scrutinized the responses of major universities to anti-Semitic protests, resulting in significant leadership changes at institutions such as Harvard and Columbia. Foxx's commitment to these issues has earned her respect within the Republican conference, with Speaker Mike Johnson praising her leadership and influence. Financially, Foxx's campaign appears robust, with reports indicating she has approximately $3.1 million in cash on hand, positioning her well ahead of potential challengers. To date, there have been no announced opponents for her seat, a testament to her stronghold in a district that has historically favored Republican candidates since her first election in 2004. Fox has consistently won her campaigns with a significant majority, capturing at least 57% of the vote in each election cycle, regardless of redistricting shifts or changes in the political landscape. As she prepares for the 2026 midterms, Fox will continue to represent a diverse district that includes counties bordering Tennessee and Virginia, showcasing a blend of rural and suburban communities. Her ability to navigate the complexities of both state and national politics alongside her commitment to her constituents will be crucial as she seeks to extend her tenure in Congress. Looking ahead, Fox's campaign will likely focus on key issues such as economic growth, national security, and furthering conservative values, all while maintaining strong community ties in North Carolina. As the political climate continues to evolve, her steadfast approach and established track record may prove pivotal in shaping the future of her district and the broader Republican agenda. With the midterms approaching, all eyes will be on Fox as she embarks on this next chapter in her long-standing political career. David H. Souter, the esteemed former Associate Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, passed away peacefully at his home in New Hampshire on May 8, 2025, at the age of 85. His death marks the end of a distinguished career that spanned nearly 2 decades on the nation's highest court, during which he was appointed by President George H. W. Bush in 1990 and served until his retirement in 2009. Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. expressed profound respect for Souter, noting, "Justice David Souter served our court with great distinction for nearly 20 years. He brought uncommon wisdom and kindness to a lifetime of public service." This sentiment reflects a broader appreciation of Souter's character and contributions to the judiciary. Harvard Law School's interim dean John C.P. Goldberg, who had the privilege of clerking for Justice Byron White during Souter's tenure, emphasized Souter's humility and dedication to the law, stating, "It was never about him and always about the law." Souter's legal philosophy was characterized by a commitment to precedent and a cautious approach to the evolution of the law, which earned him recognition as one of the most principled justices in Supreme Court history. Harvard Law professor Noah Feldman remarked on Souter's legacy, highlighting his cautious evolution of the law in the direction of liberty and equality. Feldman noted that Souter's career stands as a model of judicial strength amidst contemporary challenges to the rule of law. Martha Minow, the former dean of Harvard Law School, cherished Souter's kindness and humility. She recalled his participation in a 2013 symposium on civics education, where he articulated the essential values underpinning the Constitution. Souter's commitment to understanding and interpreting the Constitution in a way that reflects contemporary realities remains influential and serves as a reminder of the importance of civic engagement. Born on September 17, 1939 in Melrose, Massachusetts, Souter grew up on a farm in New Hampshire. He earned his undergraduate degree from Harvard College and later studied as a Rhodes Scholar at Magdalen College, Oxford, where he received his degrees in jurisprudence. Souter's legal career began in New Hampshire, where he held various positions including state attorney general and judge on the New Hampshire Supreme Court before his federal appointments. His nomination to the Supreme Court came shortly after he was confirmed to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit in May 1990, where he served alongside Justice Stephen Breyer, who later reflected on their friendship and Souter's judicial temperament. Breyer described Souter as intelligent and a thoroughly decent person, emphasizing his dedication to the Constitution and the people it serves. Souter's retirement did not mark the end of his engagement with the law or education. He frequently returned to Harvard Law School to preside over the Ames Moot Court competition, providing students with invaluable insights into the judicial process. His legacy is further underscored by the respect and admiration expressed by former clerks and colleagues, who often found inspiration in his approach to law and life. As the legal community mourns the loss of Justice Souter, it is evident that his contributions will resonate for generations to come. His steadfast commitment to the ideals of justice and the rule of law serves as a guiding light as the nation navigates an increasingly complex legal landscape. Looking ahead, his legacy will undoubtedly continue to influence discussions on judicial philosophy, civic education, and the fundamental principles that underpin American democracy.